How the Dice Fell. Flint Daniels and the Nightmare in the Garden of the Stars. Part 5.
When last we left our fearless explorers,
they had basically wrapped up the adventure. They had committed genocide, and
genocide -1.
Well, possibly minus a couple, as I tried to make them feel better about it by mentioning, quite possibly Dawn Sage is not the only outcast from society. There's probably a bunch of them out there, but anyway, so they committed mostly genocide, and then went back to Dawn Sage's bunker to celebrate.
Yeah. Mostly deserves genocide.
Yes. They nuked a civilization that was itself nuking civilizations quite flagrantly. They went back to Dawn Sage's bunker, and Sabina took one of the sunflower seed or starflower seeds into her brain, a blank slate seed that would grow into her, essentially. She did that to protect her brain from other things getting shoved in there. And Dawn Sage was like, you're all great people. You've saved the universe from my people. As your reward, I'm offering this to all of you except Hawking. Because I've detected that your mind has been tampered with, and so I don't trust that. I don't know how your mind's been tampered with, but I'm not going to risk it.
And I had done some thinking about Hawking, and I came to the conclusion that Hawking would desperately want a mind seed.
Yeah.
So
wasn't expected, but yeah,
he made he tried to sort of make a logical argument, and then basically said, like, okay, look, if you knew how my mind was tampered with and it was not problematic, would you reconsider? Because I think it would be really valuable for me to get a mind seed.
And Dawn Sage was, well, of course I'll reconsider if I'm given more information, but I'm not going to say what the outcome would be if I don't actually have that information.
So Hawking decided to reveal some information about himself because it was worth it to get a mind seed, and he the whole thing was kind of delivered in a dispassionate Spock-like way, but he described how his father graduated at the top of his class, and his mother graduated at the top of his class, and his grandfather graduated at the top of his class, and his great-grandfather graduated at the top of his class. And he was having difficulties in the academy. And this was not, he didn't really go into it, but he said that he and he and his parents went in for a backroom procedure, something that's definitely sketch and potentially illegal, where he was mentally enhanced to be, and the way that it worked was he was enhanced by an AI that was designed to make him the best at all the different types of divisions that exist at the academy. But unfortunately, this AI, for whatever reasons, based on its training set, decided to, it seemed to be based largely on old episodes of a show called Star Trek, this old Earth show. And it more or less just overwrote his personality with characters from the show.
Okay.
So he's now very good at all the divisions he's supposed to be good at, and he's, as he said, I'm the best engineering officer that we have. I'm the best science officer that we have. I'm the best diplomatic officer that we have. but unfortunately, my personality has been overwritten by one-dimensional characters from a television show. And I would really like to get a mind seed because A, it will enhance my mental capabilities, and B, it may be a way for me to recover my personality, my real personality, rather than just,
always
being
being
these various characters.
yeah.
So it was interesting because right now, of course, ChatGPT and AI is like a big thing, but I mean, this was like my plan from the beginning, like an AI, and just like the weird choices AIs make, right? Like they just, just like make me the best science officer. And so it's like, all right, well, now you're Spock. Okay, make me the best security officer. Okay, well, now you're Worf.
Right.
And whether that's actually makes you the best or not, whatever, that's what the AI thinks.
So
and he asked them not to tell any. Well, the Academy clearly knows because they know he changes. He has to do something to switch which officer type he is. But it's kind of like we won't look very. We know something's going on here. We think it might be illegal, but we're just going to look the other way. Just don't talk about it. Don't tell us about it, and we won't ask. And so, yeah.
Because we get a good employee out of it for cheap.
Yeah.
So yeah, after hearing this, Don Sage was like, okay, that's a plausible, explanation for how and why you got your mind modified. But to be sure that, my seed is finding a good home, I would show me this human thing called Star Trek. And so fortunately the crew had the what was it, the cultural package,
the cultural package,
which
so it
included the Star Trek series in it. And so we had a Star Trek viewing marathon organized by Don Sage, and all the Starborn were watching Star Trek with him, and he checked out that, okay, all of those characters are worthy. They're not, none of them are gonna misuse the power, the heritage, whatever. They're not gonna put on a bad show like the previous batch of Starflowers did. And so, seed ahoy. Don Sage gave a seed to Hawking. So now Hawking has a Starflower seed as well.
So and the rest of the party now knows his secret.
Yes, his deep dark secret that he's a crazy person.
He's secretly all of these characters.
Except Pill doesn't know because Pill wasn't here. But
right,
But I don't know if Pill would really acknowledge that was odd. So
I too am a character from a space. I am a Babylon 5.
Didn't before, when like suddenly Hawking started acting like Worf, someone was like, why is Hawking acting so differently? And Pill was like, what? I didn't notice a difference.
Yep. So anyway, that was, I think, the main remaining unresolved thing. Basically, the crew was getting ready to go back to Earth. And Chen is going to go with them. She's going to be ambassador of the Starflowers to Earth. There was a bunch of discussion about who we should tell what we should tell to whom. Flint Daniels got on the radio with the Suppression Pact, which were poised to resume bombarding the planet now that the Starflowers had been basically nullified and all of their defenses were crumbling. And he drew quadruple pluses on his diplomacy thing. So it was just like the perfect draw. And so he basically told them, stop bombing. We've destroyed the Starflowers. All of them are dead. Every last one, they're all gone. Because Don Sage requested, please don't tell them I'm still here because they will blow me up. And so the suppression pack doesn't know that there are Starflower survivors. But they will be bringing Chen back to Earth, so Corporation Incorporated will know there are Starflower survivors. Right. Also, the Suppression Pact will be sending ambassadors to Earth. So there's going to be one of these sitcom-esque situations where you have a date with both ambassadors or something. Anyway, and neither can find out that the other is there. Anyway, whatever.
That's right.
So yeah, the party got a hovercraft. They got a device that allows them to force a baobab to become the central node of the local network, which allows us to nuke baobab infestations much more easily than on the previous situation. Mm-hmm. Oh, I forgot to mention, we also have that helmet you stole from that soldier. I don't know if you count that or not. It has the mind snake protective.
That one also had like no nose, right?
They also had no nose, but I suspect that Corporation Incorporated will cut a nose hole through it.
The only vulnerability to mind snake protection. The nose.
No, presumably if they've got good relations with the suppression pact, they'll be like, oh yeah, here's how you make a mind snake sealed hazmat suit or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that was basically, oh yes, that's right. Chumley went on a safari and caught a wild technician starborn from one of the starflowers that had its mind nuked.
They were talking about going and hunting the gorilla ions too.
Yeah,
and it's like, I mean, okay, so they were uplifted. They're no longer sapient, so they are animals. But that just seems wrong to me, like to go hunting them. I mean,
it's okay to kill. It's okay to eat them now that they are no longer sapient.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen strange arguments in like D&D where people will be like, it's not cannibalism because I'm an orc and they're a human. But I mean, generally a good rule of thumb is like if they're sapient, it's cannibalism. But like, what if they used to be, but they're not anymore? I feel like it's just better to err on the side of cannibalism. Like just, or I mean, you know what I mean?
Yes. Better to err on the side of cannibalism, indeed.
John Thompson, 2023.
So yeah, I think that's it. The party hopped on the ship. And headed back to Earth.
Oh.
And Chen went along. And so we tried.
Then it's John's job to come up with the next story?
Yeah. We, for the journey back, we actually tried playing it with 6 players. We had Chen in the crew as well.
Which human player played Chen?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Pill wasn't there, so I was going to be sitting out anyway.
Gotcha.
It only Space Alert maxes at 5, so the GM never plays.
But this time it was like, hey, we usually do something weird on the trip back, so let's try having a 6-player game. Since we didn't have enough cards for everyone, Chen used the original deck, which had just the single. I don't know how much you're familiar with Space Alert's advanced rules, but there's special cards for advanced players.
Yeah.
Anyway, she used the basic rules, basic deck. And it was funny. Basically, she only had cards that could go to the red zone. There were no blue zone and there were no turbo lift cards. So she just moved over into the red zone and spent the whole time just hammering the fire gun button. And it worked.
Yeah, we did well. We've been doing well the last bit. I mean, this time we had an advantage of an extra player, but yeah, we almost got through it. We almost got back without a scratch. Unfortunately, at the very end, just due to a bit of a mistake, we ended up taking 2 damage, but otherwise it was like flawless. And we got like 30 some points, like 36 points, which is That's a good score for the white cards. I feel like I'm like finally reaching my dream of maybe we can do a mixed white and yellow next time. Because I feel like the white we're getting to, like, we know those cards really well. Like they're kind of getting dull. It'd be nice to mix in some new things. So, like, you know, first when you're playing Space Alert, first you play with white, and then you play with white and yellow mixed, and then you play with yellow, and then you play with yellow and red mixed, and then you play with red. I've never played more than yellow that was just because I got the red expansion, and then I basically haven't hardly played it since. But
there's a mode of the game where you just play with red cards.
I mean, you can just play, you basically choose whatever cards you want to put in there, right? Okay. I mean, the manual even describes the different difficulty levels, and it's like you can even play with white, yellow, and red mixed, and then you're just like, you don't know what you're going to get. It could be insanely hard or super easy. And
I almost forgot Chen stripping. Remember at lunch I was
for the sake of humanity.
yes. When Chen showed up at the ship to go back to Earth, she had shed her fur. So there's her there.
Oh my God.
And yes,
fur really covered up the like foot hands.
everyone instantly is like, foot hands.
I don't know what it is about them, but they're really creepy.
Yoon was like, you're going to want to put fur back on your tail, actually.
Oh, wow, yeah.
But the foot hands is the thing everyone jumps to. But it's so handy anyway.
So what was the saving humanity for the sake of humanity part?
She's doing it just to fit in more. To not be seen so much as an animal as a person.
Okay.
You know, she's a diplomat, and so she sort of gauges her needs, and she is star bright, so she can grow as she wishes. So she modified her biology.
Right.
She can just
grew
do that.
She wished.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess she'll put fur back on her tail. She was like, oh, I kind of liked it.
It's a little weird.
It's more grippy.
Yeah.
Yeah. The concern was that it was too rat-like. It reminded people of rats.
Yeah. So. I mean, it's not segmented like a rat's tail, so not that much, but it's like a finger without notches or wrinkles. I don't know. It's a weird tentacle at this point.
Yeah. It does look tentacular.
Yeah.
All right, everyone's griping about her tail. She'll put fur back on it, probably.
I mean, the if she can decide to have feet for feet instead of hands for feet, that would probably go a long way. With
you're insulting her culture now.
It's true, and also there's also such thing as shoes or gloves in her case.
That's true. Yeah.
She'll wear
mittens.
Gloves.
Just wear mittens.
Yeah.
I guess you could probably get like gloves that, like, if you just hold your fingers together, they end up looking like shoes, and so then they'll pass.
Yes, these are the important issues.
If she wants to blend in. Clearly the lesson from all of us seeing her picture is that, oh my God, feet for hands. It's like the number one problem here. I don't care that she's got like weird like bat ears or something, or a mane. Nope, we care that she has hands for feet.
Weird. All right.
Honestly, the flesh tentacle tail, probably not as big of a problem as the hands for feet.
So, well, first of all, this is the engineering officer's log. But, yes, we committed genocide. And I don't feel good about that. It was necessary, I guess. But I really don't feel good about that.
Personal log. Flint Daniels, Space Ranger. Smoke rises from fallen Neuraxia. An ancient and wise race, driven mad by fear and hatred, now lies forever silenced. And one lone ship rises from the wreck, bearing the seeds of hope. Returning to Earth, our intrepid crew faces our regrets from our past and the hope for a bright new future among the stars.
Flex Officer's Log. Unfortunately, I was forced to reveal some of my secrets in order to achieve my goals. It's probably best that I did this as the science officer. I believe that some of my other weaker personalities would have found admitting weakness mortifying. Fortunately, I am not subject to such weak emotions and was able to approach it logically and thus achieve the best outcome.
Medical Officer's Log. Am I the only normal person here?
Yeah?
Most Honorable Evelyn Horatio Hugh, Marquess of Chumley, Lieutenant in this godforsaken whatever it is. So I'm not sure what the quidnunces, politicians, are going to make of us bringing back a bunch of evil alien tree fetuses inside our heads, but I don't want to raise a breeze, create a disturbance. If they turn on us and attack the Earth, I guess I'll just down the apple carts and double thick. A blow to the head. And erstwhile, I brought back a wild monkey kitten for the menagerie on my estate. It's going to be wonderful. Oh, wait, maybe I shouldn't have put that in the official report. Redact.